Now let's talk a little bit about different kinds of firewalls. So to talk about different types of firewalls, we could use this criterion, basically the topology. And what we mean by topology is in a firewall architecture, meaning how firewalls are put together with other devices, exactly where the firewall is situated. So depending on where the firewall is situated in the network, we could categorize that firewall as a border firewall or internal firewall. So the border firewall here means the firewall is really sitting at the very boundary of the network. And when we say something is an internal firewall, that means the firewall is behind another firewall. That's what we mean by an internal firewall. So let's say your network actually looks like this. So this is your network, and the network actually to be protected, and let's say your firewall is there to control the flow of the traffic coming into your network. So this is network to be protected. So the firewall sitting here at the border, this one is actually called the border firewall. While if you have another firewall within the network itself, let's say you have another firewall and then you have an internal network, this is called a internal firewall. So this is internal firewall, and this is actually the border firewall. We can also talk about different types of firewalls based on what they do. So for example, the first type is called static packet filtering firewalls. We'll talk about this more later on in the next slide. Another type is called stateful packet inspection firewalls. And then the third one is application proxy or gateways. And it's also called sometimes proxy servers. And we don't really add this intrusion detection systems or IDS as one of the types of the firewalls here, because their role is mainly to watch what's going on in the network and not really taking any actions. So they're not really dropping any packets, and that's why we're not adding this as one of the types of the firewalls here. And then, so in that case, intrusion prevention system, which watches and drops packets at the same time, can be considered as one of the types of the firewalls based on the functionality. And then there's one more thing that's called Unified Threat Management Firewalls, or UTM firewalls, which is probably the most comprehensive type of firewall among all the ones we have talked about so far.